Good morning. So let's start a new topic, which is the last theme of the Unit 4. That is socialism. Socialism, is a political and economic theory based on broadly what is called the collective or state ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. In other words, they are against the private property, private accumulation of the wealth, and they want to distribute that equally to the society, different individuals. So it has many diverse forms and many diverse areas. But by mid 19th century, it refers a set of what is called the reformist and the revolutionary ideas, particularly in Europe and America. Now, they emphasize what is called the transformation of the capitalist industrial society into more of an equal or egalitarian system. So, please remember here, you have to understand the capitalist system, and in fact, it's a reaction against the inequalities, the exploitation, and the conditions of the workers, in fact, who form the majority in the society. So, they are as a reaction, socialism came as a reaction to that capitalist system which was prevalent at that particular point of time. So they were talking or trying to bring a more equal society. So therefore, they subordinate the self-interest, the individual interest to the values of association, community, cooperation. So they want to replace what is called the conflict, instability, and the what is called the some kind of a problem in the society by what is called the solidarity, mutual interdependence, and harmony. So too much of individualism, too much of private property, too much of self-interest was creating the problem in the capitalist system. So therefore they want to transform that capitalist system. So that was the origin or the idea to a great extent in the beginning and to for a long time. Now, as I said, it is a reaction to the capitalist system, and it was a critique, socialism of all types. So we'll come to that different types, but socialism generally, all kinds of socialism, diverse socialism, they will be critical of the capitalist system and also the role of the private property. So that is one part. And one of the problem with the capitalist system is the inequalities it create in the society. So they consider private property is the main responsible. So in that context, the capitalist class and the inequalities that have been created, they want what is called the workers, the interest of the workers to be at the supreme importance in the society. They want to restore, in order to bring equality, they want to restore workers' condition to the supreme position in the society. Now, you have different traditions. For instance, the Marxist tradition. We have already discussed the communism. For them, it's a classless and stateless society. Okay, this is one brand or one very type of the communism. Socialism is the communism. For the Marxists, socialism is the transition, the middle phase between what is called the capitalism and communism. So communism is the stateless and classless society. So for them, socialism is the middle point, transition period between the capitalism and communism. So Marx and Engels call their socialism as what is called the scientific socialism, and other socialism, or the socialist, their term is as a utopian. That is not possible. So they brought about very clear-cut what is called the strategy through revolution, or through the proletariat revolution, they will bring socialism. So they have a very clear concept. However, other socialists or the old socialists do not agree to the Marxist notion of the socialism and communist society. And in the what is called the Marxist notion of socialism, or in other words communism, became the foundation of what is called the communist revolution and communist system in the Soviet Union and other countries. So that is one significant or aspect of the what is called the communism, which is a kind of socialism, but they said there is a different, there is a scientific socialism. That's what they claim. As far as the origin is concerned, the socialist ideas can be traced back to what is called the Thomas More's Utopia, that is in 1516, or even to the some idea of Plato, which is more than 2000, 300 years before. Okay, so the term socialism, is derived from the word socios, which means the society. So you can see conceptually it is given to the what is called the society, the interest of the society, the harmonious relationship in the society, the solidarity among the society. What do you mean by society? It's a collection of body of the individuals who form the society. But if you look at the liberalism, then it is given primary importance to the individualism. So that's the main difference between the what is called the liberalism and also liberalism and socialism. Uh, you know, the word socialism appeared to be first used in Poor Man's Guardian in 1833. So by early 19th century, socialism became a kind of a political creed in the sense that it has certain kind of formal, some kind of a clear-cut idea. So it became a political creed. But from late 19th century onwards, the reformist socialist tradition emerged with the gradual integration of the working classes into capitalist society. In other words, what they thought of only the workers, leading the thing, workers having control over the state power, they started slowly realizing the integration to the larger society, and whatever the socialism they wanted to bring, through the gradual legal transition to socialism through what is called the democratic or peaceful parliamentary route or the method. So that is the transformation from the beginning. But as far as the 20th century socialism, it can be divided broadly in two categories. What is called the the revolutionary socialism, which is also called they call themselves communists. It was led by of course the Karl Marx and Engels in the beginning, but it was Lenin, other Bolsheviks and communist countries. So they follow and practice the principles of the communism. Started whose foundation was led by Karl Marx and was put into practice. And here, in practice, what they did, they practice what is the collective ownership, through the 5-year plan. Of course, everything is controlled by the state. So you have massive transformation in this, the economic life through this 5-year planning, state control of the ownership, and you abolish the private property. You abolish the feudal system, where you have the private property by the feudal lords. In terms of land and in terms of the industrial, the capitalist class, they abolished, but everything, the resources, wealth distribution, economic activities was controlled by the state. It was done under the state. So in any case, state become an important role. Other thing is the what we call the reformist socialism, as we said, in the European countries particularly, which practice a form of constitutional politics, and they use the gradual, not the revolutionary method, but parliamentary model or democratic method, and what is called as also social democracy. However, all kinds of socialism, whether it's the the revolutionary or the social democracy or reformist socialism, have some kind of crisis by the late 20th century. So by 1991 or 1990s, you have the collapse of the communist system in the former Soviet Union, and also the former European countries, which were the communist systems. So they had a communist system based on the Marxist principles, and also what is called in the socialist regime in the third world countries. So you have a decline, you have the collapse of the communist system. So therefore, other form of socialism in Europe and other countries, they were not much distinguishable from the what is called the modern liberalism. So in a way, the communism or the socialism also contributed to the transformation of the liberalism or the capitalist society into more egalitarian system, where the state took up the welfare measures, and they tried to what is called the reduce the inequality in the society, and they take care of the workers. So in that context, it is also a contribution of the the socialism and communist ideas and practices. So in that sense, you have one contribution, even though you had to face the crisis of the or the collapse of the communist or socialist system by the late 20th century. Okay, so that is one idea where you have the capitalist system. As a reaction to that, it also transformed, socialism also transformed the capitalist system itself by it also transformed itself, evolved over the year through the practices and other experiences. Now let's come to some of the features or what is called the elements of the socialism. This is also important, in order to understand what is the socialism. Okay, so there are certain features. Let's consider one by one. First one is the what is called the community. I talk about the society is important, the people as a group is important rather than the individual which compose the society or the community. So the core of the socialism is the vision of human beings as a social creatures. It is linked by what is called the common humanity. So you have a thinking that the human being or living in a society or community as a whole has a certain kind of common thing, and that should be preserved. As far as the socialism is concerned, the community is important as the individuals is shaped by the social interaction and by membership of becoming social groups and bodies. The socialists emphasize, the nurture over the nature, and they explain individual behavior in terms of social factors. In other words, the society or the community as a group influence the individuals. So therefore, society is important. The values, the cooperation, the other human aspect of the individuals are important, because individuals will be influenced by that common thing. So therefore, they emphasize the what is called the community rather than the individual. So in the liberalism, the emphasis is on what individuals, but in the socialism, emphasis on the community. I will take one more point. That is the feature is the common ownership. For the socialism, sometimes common ownership is the goal or the end, and also is also a means of bringing broader equality. And for socialism, private property is seen as promoting what is called the selfishness, inequalities, and social division in the society. So therefore, somehow they want to bring the resources, income, the wealth of this, of the society in the country as a common good. They want to use it for common good, for not for the individuals, which has been done in the case of capitalists or the communist, in the liberal system. So the common ownership may be in the form of what it was practiced in the Soviet Union style of state collectivization, or what is called a selective nationalization, or sometimes it's called a mixed economy. In other words, state will have a control over the resources, and in any case, state will decide the production distribution of the resources and income. So that's one difference between liberalism and communism or socialism. However, the modern socialism has moved away from this common ownership. So as we said, in the 20th century, there's not much difference between the socialism and the liberalism. So you have a transformation, complementary kind of thing is there. So tomorrow we'll take up other features of the socialism. For today, we'll end here. Thank you for joining the class.